So after a round of EFL Cup fixtures, let's look ahead to match day 10 of 38 in the Premier League this season. I'm going to go through the 5 matches that I'm paying special attention to this weekend, guys. So let's dive in. So unusually for the Premier League, there are no Friday games. There is no Saturday lunchtime games either. So let's dive in first of all with a Saturday 3 o'clock fixture. This being between Nottingham Forest and Manchester United. Sean Dyche is of course taking charge of Forest for the first time in the Premier League in a home game after losing last time out against Bournemouth. Manchester United, meanwhile, are on a bit of a good run at the moment. 3 victories in a row in the Premier League, and they look pretty impressive against Brighton and Hove Albion in their 4-2 victory at the weekend. But how do I see this one playing out? Well, you've very much got 2 very different styles here from Sean Dyche and Ruben Amorim when it comes to the tactics they're going to employ. Dyche's had a bit more time to work with Forest players. I feel like they're going to be a bit more tight, a bit more effective at the back. Man United's away record in general, though, is pretty abysmal. I mean, yeah, they managed to win against Liverpool the other day at Anfield, but let's be honest here, everybody's beating Liverpool right now. That's not really a surprise. So it just feels a bit written in the stars for me that Nottingham Forest are going to get a good result here. I just got a feeling, you know. I feel like Man United are a much better team than last season. They do seem to be improving, but I feel like Forest, they've got to get that first win eventually. And I feel like this is a game where they're really going to be up for it. This just has a feeling about it. The vibes are very much telling me that Forest are going to get a good result here. So I'm going to go with them to get a victory, a narrow one, by 2-1. Not going to be a classic by any means. While that wouldn't be enough to get Forest out of the relegation zone, it would get them close to safety depending on results elsewhere. And one of those results is Fulham against Wolves. Now, this is a relegation 6-pointer. I did not expect Fulham to be in a relegation battle at this point in the season. In fact, I did an in-depth video going over why Fulham are struggling so much this season, and after doing that, I can kind of see why. They've had a lot of problems at that club, and they are suffering the consequences of their inaction, really, when it comes to that. Their manager, Marco Silva, will no doubt be under pressure, but the same will 100% be applying to Wolverhampton Wanderers as well. The Wanderers haven't had a single win to their name so far this season, and of course they lost at home against Burnley last time out, which almost seemed like a must-win. But how are we going to get on here? Well, I do think Fulham are going to get a win. It's going to be narrow, it's going to be awkward, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory for the Cottagers. I think it'd be a bit similar to when they beat Leeds United a good few weeks ago as well. A narrow win, but a very important one for Fulham, no doubt. Next up, let's talk about a London derby. One of the late kickoffs on Saturday, this being a 5:30 kickoff. Tottenham Hotspur against Chelsea. Now, if you go off the table, Tottenham are very much the favourites here. They're also playing at home, but their record against Chelsea is abysmal. However, Thomas Frank's record against Chelsea as Brentford manager is pretty good. It's pretty good, to say the least. You know, his style of football seems to be one that Chelsea over the years very much struggles to play against. I mean, far from by themselves with that. Of course, Brentford being an excellent side in the Premier League since they came into the league, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Something like that. It's been a while now, hasn't it? But they've really established themselves there. Now, Tottenham, of course, lost in the EFL Cup in midweek, but they did get a very impressive win against Everton at the weekend in the Premier League before that. Chelsea also played in the EFL Cup in midweek. They managed to get through against Wolverhampton Wanderers, albeit very narrowly. But how do I see this one going? Well, I feel like Spurs, they've just got enough about them. I think Chelsea are a little bit inconsistent right now in terms of their form. So I'm going to go with Spurs to win. But I'm going to go for an entertaining win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for the Lily Whites on this one. Also on Saturday evening, or maybe by this point it's Saturday night actually, an 8 p.m. kickoff, Liverpool against Aston Villa. Now these two sides are almost identical in the table, just 1 goal difference between them in 7th and 8th place respectively, which given how both sides started the season, you wouldn't really think they'd be that close to one another so early on in the campaign. Liverpool were leading the Premier League in the early stages, while Aston Villa couldn't score a goal to save their lives in the opening 4-5 games of the campaign. However, Villa have been one of the form teams in the Premier League. They've won their last 4. Liverpool have been one of the worst teams in the Premier League in terms of recent form. They've lost their last 4. Also, Liverpool managed to lose in the EFL Cup in midweek as well. 3-0 against Crystal Palace. They got absolutely battered. That being said, I think at Anfield, I've just got a funny feeling that Liverpool are going to do this. I really do. I don't know why. I don't know what is telling me that. On current form, Villa should walk this, but 5 losses in a row for Liverpool in the Premier League, it seems a bit much, I'll be honest. I mean, it could happen. It could absolutely happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not feeling the vibe with that one. I'll be honest. I think Liverpool will win narrowly, 2-1, but we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Villa managed to win and heap that misery, pile that misery onto the Reds even more. And then again, Arne Slot, his position really has to be questioned at that point, if it's not already. But let's go to one of the Sunday games. A Sunday late kickoff, 4:30 p.m. kickoff between Manchester City and AFC Bournemouth. Bournemouth come into this one ahead of Man City, 2 points ahead of them in second place. Man City down in fifth. Man City will be the favourites for this one, given it's at home, but again, Man City, I'm not too confident with them. I'm not overly confident with them. They lost at the weekend, of course, didn't they? They've not been too great of late. Their form has been very hit and miss, and I think with the style of play that Bournemouth play, I think they're going to get something from this. I don't think they're going to win. I think that'll be a bit strong, but I'm going to give them a draw. I'm going to give them a point, and that would have to be an excellent point on the road at the Etihad Stadium against Pep Guardiola's men. Nobody would say it wouldn't be, but I'm going to go for an entertaining game. I'm going to go for this to beat 2-2. Desmond. Wouldn't surprise me if either side managed to win this one, but I think overall they will just about balance each other out, and in a sense, I don't think it's a terrible result for Man City either. But yeah, your thoughts on all that in the comments below, guys. What's the standout fixture this weekend in the Premier League? Who's going to have a happy Halloween and who's going to have an absolute horror show to have to deal with? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. As always, guys, have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world today, and we'll see you very soon.